up with this hand here that's grabbing his wrist and pull down on the other side there, creating a tremendous amount of pressure. How long will I hold this technique? Until I get help or until another position allows me to completely reverse positions and get him under control. He's pretty much under control now, and I'll buy time until my backup arrives in this position right here. The other opportunity that I have in this position is I have the ability that we'll use that bridging and that bucking of the subject off of us like we showed when he attempts to strike we'll do. We'll do the same thing here, but this time we're going to grab the hand and buck him in the opposite direction of the hand we grabbed. So we're going to take him this position here and roll ourselves all the way out into an arm bar. This is a very effective arm bar. Allows me to go right into a wrist lock, finger locks, whatever I'm looking for here. All I have to do for compliance now is roll back in towards the subject. Tremendous amount of pressure on the elbow, the wrist, and the shoulder joint. You can see that some of these techniques take a little bit of flexibility and a little bit of conditioning. Your ability to defend yourself from the ground is, just like it is standing up, is based a lot on your physical attributes. But a lot of these techniques, and most of these techniques, can be perfected even if you're not in great shape. We can still buy time just by getting these locks, and they're mainly we're talking about leverage, center of gravity, and just proper body mechanics is going to overcome your inability to fight due to conditioning or your size. We're going to do officer in the side mount now. I need to let you know that when you're in a side mount position, although we have techniques we can do, we saw that we could choke effectively from that position, and we can reverse that position and prevent the subject from mounting us. We are extremely limited on our ability to do arm bars from that position. But we're not going to be down and out completely. As he gets us into a side mount position, I want to make sure that I got this hand between myself and him. That's going to protect me. So as he comes in for the side mount, my hand is already seated here. Let's say he's perfected a takedown, taking me to the ground. I place my arm here. That allows me now to come in with this arm, and at the same time as I'm pushing up here, I'm pulling down on his shoulder and I'm throwing my hips out, which is one of the techniques we want to do anyway for reversing this particular position. And as I reverse the position quickly there, I come right up in here, I lock his leg back here, and I pull myself up using his body with the chicken wing, never releasing anything that I have, using this leverage here with this shoulder joint and the arm. Okay, and that's a good reversal position for us when we're in the side mount. When the subject's got me in a closed guard like he does now, here again, one of the techniques I want to use is I'm going to use that technique of stacking, which is moving up into here to try to limit his ability to use too much offense for me. And what I can do, as you can see, is his arms are going to get in position for arm bars. For instance, here we go for that figure 4 arm bar, trapping this hand down, reaching underneath the tricep, and same thing, keep the hand down on the floor as we pull everything back towards us. Okay, and then if the hand's down by his sides or he's reaching around behind me, trapping this hand, going over the top, grabbing it again here, and now pulling everything back this way, reversing that position. It's all through leverage. I'm using about 35% of strength and power in this stuff. It's all through leverage. So if you wanted to apply 100%, you're going to put a tremendous amount of torque on the joints right away. You get better compliance right away. Okay, we want to look again at escaping the guard. We know that this is a position of advantage, although if you came upon this scene, you'd certainly make it look like the guy on the bottom is in a position of disadvantage. We know that's incorrect. I'm in his guard. He's at the position of advantage. So what we want to try to do is get out of this guard position that he's in to go to the side mount and then to the position that we have most control and most techniques available to us, and that's in the mount position. A couple ways I can do that. If I'm a larger person than the subject that I'm dealing with, I can do what we call stacking. Stacking simply coming in here and moving my legs all the way up, making this extremely uncomfortable for this guy. Another thing that stacking does is, as a human body, Daniel's very strong. Push your legs very strong with his legs in that position, kind of like, if you will, a squatting position or a leg thrust position when you're working out. He's got a lot of power there. Push again, a lot of power. When we stack those legs all the way up against him and take his range of motion away, push, we take away a lot of his ability to push because because we've jammed, if you will, the range of motion. Range of motion, the strength starts about right here and starts to diminish as we bring this back to his body. So that's what we're going to try to do in the stack. Once again, I'm in this position here, and I bring his legs as close to him out of position as I can. Still allows me to do any of the arm bars that we talked about before, and this is one way that we're going to start making being in his guard very uncomfortable for him, and make him want to release that position for us. Another thing we can do when we're in the guard to get out, we can take our elbows, put them inside here. We know we got the common peroneal nerve and the femoral nerve running on both sides of the thighs. We're going to use those pressure point areas to our benefit. And take our elbows in here, place them inside his thighs, and just push them real hard and get good compliance there. This allows me now, when I'm in this position, to either totally disengage if that's what I want to do. I don't suggest that because you have to take this guy down to the ground perhaps a second time and you're in an even worse position. So after we get this position here, I'll get one leg over to a leg straddle to this position here. Now it's very close for me now to continue my mount or work offense from this particular position here. So I can be in a partial mount position and still affect a lot of the same techniques we've already worked on. So that's using our elbows inside the thighs to push him away. We can do that. Another technique we can do is what we call passing the guard. I can come under here when he's in an open guard especially, slip my arms in and move this leg over my head right to a side mount into the mount position. That's the good news. Bad news is that puts him in a good position, which we'll show in a second, for a choke hold in this position or to set him up for an arm bar. So if I'm going to use that passing of the guard, I need to be conscious of those two techniques he can do from there. Choke holds with his leg he can do, and he can also push my body back, which extends my arms and gets me in an arm bar. So when I pass this guard, I've got to be quick and conscious of the disadvantage of passing the guard past my neck, which is a very susceptible area there to be countered against. All right, once again, we don't want to forget any of our striking techniques. Our striking techniques are also going to allow us to escape the guard. Perfect shot here to the groin. I'm going to get his attention there. Hit him repeatedly here. Allows him to loosen up his tight grip on the guard. From that position back to that straddle to a partial mount. Puts me in a good position of advantage. Another thing I can do, here again, this is simply using good body mechanics. I can take my leg, right leg or left leg, doesn't matter. I'm going to ram that knee right up into his tailbone and through a position of leverage, just pushing myself away, and then of course coming right back. I don't want total disengagement because this guy's going to get up and I have to fight again. So I'll pull myself away to escape the guard, and then I'm coming right back in here. Now he's made a real bad mistake here. As you can see, he's given me his back. We talked about like that. If he would have rolled there, he's in better shape for himself. But since he's the bad guy, we like him being in that position. And we're going to go right to a neck restraint from that side mount position to that partial mount position that we just showed. So these are all the ways that we can escape the guard. And this is a position of advantage for him, a position of disadvantage for you, but it doesn't take you out of the fight. And actually, there are some things here that you can do that work rather well for you. Now we have the officer with the subject in his guard. Position of advantage is here. Don't think because you're on your back you're in a bad position. You actually have a good position of advantage. The subject's inside my guard. There's several things we talked about before just to reiterate about the guard position. I have a closed guard there with my legs. I like a closed guard compared to an open guard. I don't have a lot of control here. I've got a tremendous amount of control there. I can pull this guy into elbow range so my strikes are effective. I can push him back and get some extension of my shoulder, some hip rotation, and have a good punch. Notice I couldn't do that when he was mounted me, so this is a good position for me. So all my strikes are available. I pull my legs in as I bring my body up. Good headbutt. You got two forces meeting my head against the soft tissue of his face. Going to create a lot of pain there and do a lot of damage for him. If I break his nose, do something good like that, that blood flowing back into his mouth makes it difficult for him to breathe, difficult for him to fight. And these are all, once again, I can't reiterate that these are violent encounter resolution skills. This is fairly high up on the use of continuum, and that's because this is a violent encounter, and if we don't do something right away, this guy's going to either send us to the hospital or to the morgue. Another thing that we can do from here besides our strikes, we know that we have the different chokes that were effective that we showed earlier. Those are important things that we can do. We've got the arm bars that we perfected